Yeah, yeah. Let's have a good time. Let's have a good time. We feeling alright. Let's just come on, come on. Yeah, yeah. Let's have a good time. Let's have a good time. We feeling alright.
Yep, Vibe Show 97.9, home of the most exclusive interviews on the planet. Y'all already know how I do. Happy Sunday to everybody tonight, man. We have an amazing guest joining us on the show. My friend, this is like a homecoming here. Listen, Cowboys won today. I can't speak for all of the rest of the teams, but my team won. So hope y'all teams won, but I know mine won though. Y'all keep it locked in. Don't go nowhere. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. We'll be back with the one and only AZY. Ooh. Yep, Vibe Show. I'm your host, Kano the Don, the Vibe King. And tonight we have an amazing guest joining us on the show. This queen here, she does a lot of things. Really good friend of mine. I'm so excited to have her back on the show. It's been like, what, almost 2 years. And she's still out here grinding, shaking, and baking, and back with an amazing single, along with amazing video as well. I'm so excited to just dive off into it all. Happy Sunday to everybody. Let's get into it. I'm talking about the one and only singer-songwriter, creative, the one and only AZY.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
What's happening? How are you doing? You done changed the hair on me again, huh?
You know, I always gotta switch it up a little bit. You know, this is my. It was like blonde. No, I think like when I met you, it was like it was still black, right? I haven't dyed it yet. I don't know.
I think it was like no, it was a different color, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Well, this is my real natural hair. I decided to cut everything off and start over. Yeah,
color right there, black, right?
Yep.
It look amazing. Look amazing. You're such a creative though. You always changing things up. I just want to thank you though from me and the entire Vibe team. I just want to thank you so much for just coming back on the show and doing it again, man.
Of course. It's family. It's family.
Absolutely. So, I'm excited though because you back doing music. I know we spoke about it. We spoke about it the last time I think I came out there to visit with you. We had a long conversation and we was talking about you getting back into the music game or whatever. So let's start there though. But before we dive into that though, you originally from Singapore and made the transition to Houston, Texas. I guess we should start there. What sparked the move from, because that's that's a big move.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm actually from H. Like I was born in Singapore, and like I moved a bunch of places. I moved from Singapore to California to Colorado to Louisiana, and then to Houston, and then to Texas. Um, I grew up in Houston, and I decided to go back home to Singapore and live out there for a while. And that's actually where we met when we was doing my podcast
Right,
out in
right,
Singapore, and that's how we originally had like connected. And I decided, hey, um, uh, it's time to come back home to Houston.
right,
And from there, I think like I got a lot of the business sense from Singapore and started just grinding and working. But Houston, there's so much talent and like creativity here, and I just started fostering in that creative zone here in Houston. There's so much talent here,
right.
and just there's so much to network with. And
To
yeah, so
make
I
to
just
make it
decided to get back
home.
into it. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And crazy music scene out there as well. So I could see that. I have a lot of friends and stuff out there that's in the entertainment business as well, that's out there. So it's definitely a creative space out there. It's a lot of creatives out there, to be quite honest with
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
Um but when you were there, when you first hit the scene though, because I know like when I met you, um you were heavy into the fashion as well. You were a fashion designer.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about that, because it kind of all ties in to the creativeness that we see within the music that you're released as well. It's very, very creative. So kind of talk to me about the fashion aspect of you as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely still do the fashion. Like, I design the dress and the music video. I
Mhm.
still work with Danny on like for fashion shows or whenever he needs me for projects. But I've been doing more of like the creative styling for artists whenever they have a show, whenever they have like events. Like, I would be the one go to be like, hey, I got an outfit for you. Like, come on,
Right,
let's do it. So I'm like the creative head. I'm like, look, you want an idea? Let's push it out. What's next? What's next? And like for me, like having that background of fashion really helps me be able to put in that visual element of music, um, which is a lot of fun. I think that's like my
right.
favorite part.
How important is that element though? With being able to because to me that's sort of like a edge that you have with having that creative eye, which would definitely be able to help as far as when it's coming up with ideas to incorporate into music videos and things of that nature. I feel that that's a good skill set also to have as an artist too. So I know that that helps in that space. What you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I think I think with that being like basically with whenever I make music, like a music is an experience, right? Like you
Mhm.
can have like a dope as like song, but having the visuals to actually tell the story of what you're trying to say in the song
Right,
really elevates everything to another level. Like, you can have a jam in, like you bumping, and then you see the visuals of like, oh wow, like that's the message she's trying to send. Um,
right,
with whatever song you might have. So like whether it be like hip hop, like pop, like what is the message you're trying to get out at the end of the day?
right,
Yeah.
right. I think that also too in the space that we're in right now too, I feel like we in one of the most creative times in life right now, because we got so many different creators out there now. I feel like the lane is like all the way wide open now.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
It's not as um segregated, I would say, because now, with social media, and it's carved out a wider lane for so many different people to get into it now, because music is, we got so many different artists that's becoming artists, are artists right now, producers. I think the lane is wide open. Definitely a change from years ago.
Oh, absolutely. And I think like with that being said, like there's so many artists out there, so many people trying to make it big, right? And like I think the most important thing if people are trying to be an artist, like is to know yourself as an artist.
Mhm.
Not even I like what is the kind of art that you make? Like why do you want to make this art? Everybody's trying to look for like the next top thing, but it's just like it's gotta start from within here. Because everybody can make content, anybody can make music. It's just like the ones that last begin from within here. You
Right,
know, it's
right.
everybody's trying to hop on the next trend. How can I make the new next, TikTok dance or whatever? But like, or TikTok like trending song. But it's like these songs trend because they have like one good marketing, of course, but these songs they start from somewhere. They start from like it being a vibe, or they trying to tell a story. Like what is it's got to start from an authentic place.
Right. And that's one of the things that I always liked about you. I don't think that you've always kind of been in your own lane. And that's one of the things that stood out when I was introduced to you and your everything was different with you. You wasn't somebody who was following trends. Like, you were a trendsetter, with the way that you created fashion, which that really, really drew me in too. Because I was like, yo, she's doing some dope stuff. And a lot of people don't know you really dope behind the lens too. You play in that space as well. So, you wear multiple hats, which all compiles into, the creativeness that you pour out into the world, and what you're blessing us with too. You know, you have a knack for that independent space, though. You're so connected in Houston. When I came out there, you're so connected on the scene. Has that always been the thing with you, with having a different ethnic background and then coming on the scene? Because I'm telling you, like, just seeing you the way you are with people, you just seem like the ultimate people person, and you connect with with the different cultures, even the urban, the hip hop world. You just connect with people. Talk to me about that. Has that always been your personality?
So I definitely like am a people person. Like I've just been like out there. I think I grew up in Houston, right? Like I came from AZY, like Southwest Houston,
Right,
and just being in the mix of like AZY, which is basically like a cultural hub. You got the Indians, the Asians, the Hispanics, the blacks, like the Africans, the Igbos, like you got the whole UN here in Houston, especially in ALEAF. In school, like I was kind of like the outlier, but like I would get along with everybody,
right,
and I fit in like multiple groups. And for me, like building that connection is I tend to stick with people who are genuine. Everybody can be like, can say what they want to say and be what they're all like, oh yeah, I know this guy, name dropping this and that and the
right,
third.
right.
But for me, it's like I tend to be drawn with the people who are authentic and like with really strong personalities and are not scared to be afraid to be themselves. You know, um, I feel like my the tribe I try to kind of bring together are the how do I say this? they're the go-getters. They're the, you know, the rebels. They don't fit into the norm. And so when
Right.
I picked out my team, for this music video, like I specifically looked for the underdogs that were, you know, up and coming, and they needed an opportunity.
Hmm. Right. Because you know that I feel like that's important with picking the right people too,
Yeah,
because you yourself know, you know, and because we talk about so much stuff, you know, we got so many things in common, a lot of similarities when it comes down to the journey that we've taken in this entertainment business. That was another thing we connected with, because you know, whenever we do talk, we talk, we be on the phone forever, you know, just talking
absolutely.
about the future and past experiences and things like that or whatever. You know, you've been through a lot of ups and downs, you know, in this business. You came in the game naive, you know, thinking that, you know, it's just this great space. But it's some hurdles that you had to overcome as well, and you learned a lot um, in this business too. Can we talk about some of the obstacles, I would say, that you had to go through with the beginning of just your travel, your journey up into this point now, things that you have learned, because it's not always good all the time, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Always talk to me about that a little bit.
Um, I guess in what aspect did you want me to explain?
Just with getting into the entertainment business, you know, as a career. You know, when we first
Yeah.
come in this business, like when I first came in, this business, um, I came in, you know, I'm a hip hop head. I came
Hmm.
from the era of just, you know, being on the outside looking in, falling in love with it, then I want to do this. I want to do what LL and I'm doing, and the Fat Boys and all these different people that I grew up, you know, watching. And then as I got into it, I realized, yo, this is not as easy as it looks on the videos and stuff like that. Yo, this costs money, you know.
Yeah.
You get railroaded by a lot of people with lack of knowledge, you know, people easily get used in this business, you know. And then you, being a woman, just trying to talk about some of the obstacles that you faced, you know, that going coming into this business for people who fresh on the scene, and or even thinking about getting into this business.
Yeah, no, like the entertainment, like music business is like, whew, you gotta read. You gotta read more than just like you gotta like know your craft. That's for sure. So for me, when I started wanting to get into music, I recorded my first song in 2019. I wrote the song back in 2016. I was sitting in the studio with a friend of mine, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is really dope, you know. And I was like just singing to her. I was like, oh, check this out, and they're like, no, you need to record that. I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it, you know. And so I paid $500 for an exclusive beat, and I got it custom made to my song with the lyrics. And I was like, man, this is the first time I ever paid for a song. Like aside from like buying a vinyl, because you know it was a vinyl, but um this is my song, like it's exclusive to me. I was like,
Right.
okay, you know what, I bought it, I already made that expense, let's go, let's do what's next. And so like I recorded it, and they hooked me up with a deal. I was able to get the studio session for free.
Mm,
And I came out with my first song, which is Nightmares, and it's streaming on Spotify right now.
okay.
I released it last year, and through and through, like after I recorded that song, I was just trying to, figure out like what it's like to be on the music scene. And in 2020, I signed up to a recording label that didn't work out for me. The ideas weren't quite aligning, because with me, I like to go over the top. Like
Right.
if I'm going to go over the top, I need you to like, you know, if I'm in a recording label, I need you to see my vision and I need you to back me. If I'm going to give you all of my you know, all of my royalties and like the ownership. No, I'm not going to give you all my royalties, but like, you know, my ownership. And for me, it was luckily it was only a year, but it made me realize what I didn't need, which was a recording label. Um, it made me realize that I can do a lot of this stuff myself. And it also made me realize that I'm going to need my own team. And I'm still looking and building that team today. Definitely, for one, like reading up, if you ever like get like, hey, I want to make you an offer, blah, 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 read the contract, read the fine lines, read everything. If there's not a number value attached to it, and if you don't have enough leverage to get the deal that you want, walk away from the deal. It's not always a good deal. Even if they're gonna sign you like $100,000, what's it gonna be in it for you besides the money? Because that's money that you owe to the recording label.
We talked about that experience, and you know, you were wrestling with trying to get out of that situation, and it was very frustrating for you. When we went had dinner, we were talking about that, and
Yeah.
you know, that kind of upset me because the situation that you were in, and it was almost frustrating you so much to the point of not even wanting to even do music anymore.
No, and it's true, especially like if you're starting out as an artist, you need to have that time to explore on your own what you want to make, who you want it to go out to, who your fan base is. Like you've got to grow like organically with you know, without something attached to you, kind of like it's almost like a baggage, an extra baggage that you're starting out with. So you gotta build your own fan base, so that way when you go to a recording label, you have leverage to make the deals that you want to make.
Right.
I've been listening to Russ, and he's like independent. He's an independent like artist, and he's kept all his royalties, and like um, basically he owns most of his music, and like you just got to do your research. That's number one. Don't get caught up in a bad deal, and it's gritty. You gotta love music for music because it gets expensive, and it's the grind.
Now we're keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. You know, I want to talk about that because I want people to really understand that. Vibe Show 97.9. We just in here vibing out with my sister, one and only AZY. We got to go pay some bills. Shout out to everybody that's on the live right now. We'll shout y'all out when we get back. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Let me go pay these bills. The Vibe Show, me and AZY, 97.9. Vibe Show 97.9 back with my special guest, the one and only AZY. Now, you know, we were talking about the music business, the business side of it. The music business is it's a great thing. You know, it's an outlet and an avenue for people to be creative and put their art out there, but it can also be a bad place too. A lot of people go through a lot of different experiences in the business, and they learn as they get into it, because you know the only thing that you see before getting into the business is the after effect of the videos and the persona and the lifestyle that's being put out there. But the behind the scenes, it's not always like that, So that's why I love bringing on creatives such as yourself, who are outspoken, and we can talk about that because we want to try to give people as much information from a learning experience place as possible. I just think that that's important with having platforms like this. We can always talk about the good stuff, but what about the bad stuff? And that's the stuff that people really need to know. You know what I mean? So, with social media coming into the fold, how beneficial has it been for you with being able to utilize social media with your brand? Because you've rebranded as well from the time that, you were on the show to the space that you're in right now. You've done a lot of rebranding. Talk to me about how beneficial social media has been to you.
So social media, right, is it's a tool. And I
Mhm.
think like a lot of people get caught up with the fact that, they gotta put out content. You gotta put out content. You gotta, grind. Like I don't I don't say don't grind, do all the things you need to do, but also take the time to just document like, how you're feeling, and like how, just what message do you want to get out to the world today. And for me, I think I went through a lot of rebranding because in a lot of ways I was also trying to find myself. I was
Mhm.
trying to reinvent myself in the most authentic way possible that
Right.
matched me in the current moment, right? Like people change, people always go through different phases and different seasons. And for me, I went through a big rebranding phase in 2021 to 2022 because I felt like there was a piece of me that was no longer this, melodramatic, like drugs and alcohol all the time. Like, like that used to be the old me. That was
Drugs and alcohol?
yeah, I had the late night talk. So like I
Oh
was
yeah,
we were
yeah. You
drinking.
tried to get,
We
you
were
tried to
drinking.
get, you got me drunk on there.
Right, right. It was fun.
It
However, I
was
had to
great.
make some lifestyle changes because my stomach and my body wasn't holding up to that no more. And it felt like during the pandemic, it was almost like a mental and a physical purge for me.
Mhm.
Because, I went through a lot of sickness, and I went through a lot of mental, like, I was in a weird place in that during that time. I feel like a lot of people have went through that thing during the pandemic as well, you know?
Right. Right.
And I think like for social media, I was able to one reach people, and talk about these things
Mhm.
and make sure they don't feel alone in these things. But also, I think like follow people who are inspirational, follow
Mhm.
people who emulate what you want to become. Because
Right.
there's a lot of stuff on social media, but there's also a lot of junk on social media.
Right. Yeah, I
So
totally agree with that.
yeah, so I think like if you want to use social media as a tool, use it to document your message, um your lifestyle. Like what is it that you're trying to put out? um Everybody's chasing the clout. Everybody's like, oh yeah, and look at me, I'm at this party, I'm at that party. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, we don't always live like that. I think
Right.
um with that being said, like people just gotta be more authentic with themselves on social media.
Let me ask you this though. With that being said, do you think that um people are afraid to be authentic because it seems like we are in a weird space where everybody's following trends and all
Yeah,
of this, and the ones that are being authentic are either crazy, or people are looking at them like they're crazy or something's wrong with them or whatever, because they're going against the grain. Talk to me about that. They might not get as many likes or might not get as many, as much love and support, because they're being themselves and being authentic. Talk to me about that though, because it's almost like, we're in this space to where, it kind of can get confusing at times. I
Yeah.
thought that's what this was all about.
Yeah, I mean everybody wants to hop on trends, right? Like everybody, think like, okay, this trend is gonna help my algorithm get seen. Those are also tools that you can use to spread your message out. So like
Mhm.
in Instagram Reels and TikTok Reels, there are trending sounds that you can just attach to your video and remove the sound. You can still get your message out there.
Right.
Those people who don't get your message, don't get your message. That's not for you. You know? I think those people who interact with you are the people you need to take care of. It's not
Mhm.
in the numbers, but in the quality of the numbers. I'd rather have 500 people who support me and like actually buy tickets to my shows and buy my merch than have a million followers who don't interact with my content.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I've been doing some house cleaning on my page as well, because you
Yeah.
get so caught up in trying to continue to, because we creatives, man, we work 7 days a week. We're never
Yeah.
off. We're always working. We always trying to come up with the new thing. We always trying to keep the brand alive. And I just took some time to just go through my page and do some house cleaning. And I'm like, yo, I got all these followers, but I'm like, at the end of the day, my numbers are not reflecting the impact from these numbers or whatever. So I find myself unfollowing a whole bunch of people that's just following you because, when you follow somebody, and you got something significant going on or you're pushing your brand or whatever, these people's stuff is always filtering through your stuff as well. And
Absolutely.
you'll find yourself being supportive towards them, but not getting that support from them. So it's just a disconnect here because I don't see the point in following somebody that you don't support, or
Yes.
you'll follow them and then they'll follow you and then they'll unfollow you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. Why do you think
Yeah.
that's so?
Was that?
Why do you think that's so?
People want to grow their numbers. People want to, it's. I feel like a lot of times they'll follow a bunch of people and
Hmm.
then go back in and unfollow them because they'll be like, oh, this person followed me. Let me follow them back. Like, I feel like that's social media etiquette.
Hmm.
If you vibe with their stuff, and there a lot of times people just follow just to get their following count up. And while that's a tactic to use to to get your numbers up, like when you're trying to build a fan base, an actual fan base, you need to actually interact with your followers because like people don't know you. You're not Jay-Z, you're not Beyonce, like if you're starting out on a small scale, start with your community, start with your friends, start with the people who like came into your stuff, like, hey, your stuff's really cool. It's like, oh, thanks. Have a conversation with them. Like, figure out what it is that they like about your stuff. Like, I think building genuine connections with your day ones is going to they're going to be the ones to be like, hey, look, check out this person, and they're going to spread the word about your music. Like, that's free publicity without spending $1 on ads.
Right, right. I definitely agree with you on that. You're right. You're right about that because you will. What's the point in having a whole bunch of followers if they're not supporting you whenever you're releasing new material or you got a new product, or the numbers are saying that you got a bunch of followers, but like, I mean, 30,000 something followers would be a good support system to purchase your merch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like when you look at it from that aspect of it, it kind of makes you think like, yo, okay, so who's really supporting me here?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You got like a bunch of followers and you put out a merch, you get like zero sales. You know, it's like, well, you put out an event and no one shows up. You're like, damn, where are
right,
all my friends? I got all these numbers.
right, right. That makes a lot of sense. So, you know, and that's my thing. So, you know, with everything that's trending right now, of course, you know, we kind of on this subject, you know, Kanye's trending right now. And
Oh,
would love to get you know, your thoughts on your overall thoughts on, because I feel like you're in a different um you view the world different, like me. You know, we don't believe everything, all of the narratives that's put out there. We do understand the powers that be. But I would love to get your thoughts on it, because I mean, I know you be tapped into the culture and things that's going on, whatever. I just think that it's overall sad to see, but I would like to get your thoughts on what's going on.
man, there's so many like there's so many sides to this.
Right,
Um, but here's my take on it. When you have a platform like that, when you have a platform and influence, and you have that many people who actually listen and like support your content and like actually actively listens,
right,
what you say is very powerful and dangerous. So
right,
when you start saying things like actively hurting people, DEFCON
right,
3, that's like, okay, we get that you're off the norm. We get that you're off the norm, but don't put threatening messages into your platform. That's what happened to Trump. That's what happened with the insurrection, and now he's banned from Twitter. Like you can't support anti-Semitism. Like it's just we've come so far from that, and history gonna repeat itself. I don't feel bad that he's losing all his brands.
you don't,
No,
right,
because you like you can have disagreements, but you can't threaten them. And I think that's the main thing that he said that got him.
right. You know, when you look at it though, um from a wider lens, because I agree with what you're saying. I don't think
So I'm curious to ask what's your take on it.
yeah, I mean, my take on it, I've been doing a lot of research. I'm not just taking it for face value. Like, I'm a journalist, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm 47. I've been around in this business for a long time, and I don't think that I think that the scariest thing that the powers that be is worried about is they're very selective on who they allow to gain power, money, power, and fame and influence. And I think that Kanye played a role to get in. You know,
Absolutely.
took a lot of L's with helping a lot of people. But I think that Kanye has that spirit, that Tupac spirit, that Michael Jackson spirit, that Prince spirit. I think that people get tired of going with the system, and I think that when you get that type of influence, that whenever you move, wherever you go, whatever you say, people actually listen. So it's very important for you not to say, because we've allowed you to come sit down, and we've shared a lot of information with you that we don't want people that's not at this level of the game to know, because it'll mess the whole it'll erupt and mess the whole program up if I on that type of level with that type of power and that type of influence, and I decide that I become bigger than the program. I don't want to be a part of the program no more. I've made my money. I've done my thing, got my stuff together or whatever. So I'm gonna get with AZY, and I'm going to share the information with you that you want, that you don't know at the level that you're on right now, because I'm up here and I've been in these rooms, I've been in these meetings, I've took notes, I paid attention, and then I come back and I share that with you, and then you could get in position too. So I think that his approach, I think that people are afraid of the truth coming out. And I'm not saying that I agree with everything, because Kanye played a role. He had to play that role that everybody that's in position, that's in power right now are playing. Everybody's afraid. Nobody wants to lose their position. Nobody wants their brands lose their endorsement deals and stuff like that. But when you start stepping into like the Michael Jackson spaces and the Prince spaces and the DMX spaces and these spaces where you start speaking out against the oath or whatever that may be, I think that that's a problem. And it's easy to reshape the narrative. It's easy to, when you control everything, it's easy to put out information to say that Az is crazy. And they know that with systematic programming, you already know everybody gonna be like, she's stupid. She lost all her deals. That don't make no sense. She crazy with what she's saying. She on drugs. You know what I'm saying? She crazy, man. Like, why would she do that or whatever? But I just think that he's in a space that we just won't understand until we watch the whole movie play out. I think that if there's some truth with what he's saying. I'm not just gonna say he's crazy because they're saying that he's crazy, and then I'm just gonna say he's crazy too. What if he's not crazy? What if what he's saying is true? What if he's saying it? What if it's true what he's saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there would be different ways to go about speaking that truth, right? I think where he went wrong is when he put out that tweet. It was we should go DEFCON 3 on Jews, right? Mm. That was the one tweet that was like, hey yo, like it blew up. Everybody was like, you can't be saying that on Twitter. That what got him banned on like all the social medias, and then Twitter, because run by Elon Musk, was like, hey, bring Kanye back. But
I'm gonna send you something too. After the interview, I'm gonna send you something because, now that he's banned from all of the popular platforms.
He's still back on Twitter, but like he's banned from like Facebook and Instagram, because Mark was like, no, we're not putting him on here.
Right.
Which is
I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna send you something that they removed, but I was able to capture it. But I'm gonna send you something that he broke all that down. He broke it down because now he have to do because everybody's banned from interviewing him, and I'm like, okay, why is that so? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so you're banned. Like, you can't interview him, I can't interview him. Well, we could interview him. I mean, I'm saying
we can interview him if he wants to.
Of course I would interview him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not finna apologize for interviewing him. You know what I mean? And allowing him to speak and say, what he have to say or what's on his mind or whatever, because I just think that it's interesting, and I think that the grand scheme of things, once the curtain is pulled back, I think that so I'm in the middle. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of what everybody's saying or whatever, because I'm at a point in my life now to where a lot of things don't make no sense to me.
Yeah,
a lot of things that I was taught that my parents was taught in ways. I'm older now, so we are in a space now to where we can ask questions. But then we couldn't ask questions. It's just this is how we have to be. And then now when you get older, you're like, well, why I got to do that? Like if I
Yeah.
don't agree with that, or it don't make no sense to me. You see what I'm saying? Like we were programmed as kids, but then when we get older and start on our own journey, you know, we see that you might see something be like, yo, like
Yeah.
just like all the stuff you was taught in school. You know
Yeah.
what I
You
mean?
question the
It was a
morality.
few
You
things,
question like the reason of
how
it.
how much of it have you utilized in your adult life that's been super beneficial for you, other than learning how to read, write, count?
Mm-hmm.
Like what else what I mean, like have you used geometry?
I actually have used geometry
What do you used it in?
as a designer.
Okay.
You
Well,
have
that
to
that
use
was
it
that was
a
something that
little
was
bit.
been
You gotta know your shapes.
that that was beneficial right there. But a lot of it though, it's just like
Like I
because
don't use algebra day to day, right?
that's
Like
what I'm saying. Why not be taught the things that you really, really
like
need?
how to file your taxes. That would have been helpful.
Wouldn't that
How
have been
to
a
do
dope course? That would have
man,
been a dope course. How you feel what I'm saying? That would have been a super dope course to
right?
have.
How to run events, how to do marketing. That would be a dope course. Like basic, basic marketing or programming even. That would have been cool. Like
Exactly. So I'm
but
just I'm in the middle with it, as like I'm not gonna lie, I'm in the middle, and I want to I do pray for his protection
I
because
definitely feel like he's lost. He's like he went through so much in the last few years after his mother died. He's looking for some type of like guidance and like he needs therapy, man. Like
I just think
he
he
just needs
needs protection.
therapy. Like
He definitely needs protection.
that too.
Because we would hate to see another great mind disappear.
Yeah.
You know how that go. But we're gonna
Yeah.
change the channel, though, because we got a new single out, "Get High," which is a very interesting title here now, because I know that you're in a different place. So I'm thinking that this is some type of metaphor here, and I'm gonna let you explain this "Get High," because as I'm listening to the single, it's really melodic. Um, you released this new single September 9th this year, which is absolutely amazing. Back and you hit us with the amazing visual to go along with it too. So congratulations on the release of your new single.
Thank you.
Um, the title. Talk to me about "Get High" now, because one would think that we're talking about literally getting high. Now I'm
It
thinking.
is.
So it's nothing deeper to it than that. It's just about
It
getting
is.
high, smoking. All right,
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you tell it, as you tell me what the meaning of "get high" means.
Get high. So I mean, there's a lot of like layers to it. On the first layer is a vibey song, like you bumping it to your car. You're like, all she wanna do is get high. But I wrote this song in a matter of an hour. One night
Really?
when I was in my bag, I was high and I was all as high as I'll get out, right? But the layers of this song is really about exploring your inner self. And like, we get high to escape from our day-to-day shit, like, our issues. We want to feel good. We want to feel good and like forget about our worries. But, there comes a point when we get so high that our ego dies and we come face to face with that shadow self we've been running from, and we have to face it. We have to become friends with this shadow self in order to become the fully elevated self. So it's get high in many different ways, right? There's the get high in, the literal sense. There's the get high in the metaphysical sense where your ego dies and you become the higher version of yourself.
Mm.
After you faced your dark side, after you faced the shadow self.
Okay, that's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. Which I knew it was, but now the with coming up with the visual to it, who produced this track? Because the track is absolutely dope. um I remember we was talking when we were eating in Houston, and we were talking about tracks and stuff like that or whatever,
Yeah.
the importance of tracks. And you got a good ear. You got a good ear for music, as well. You've been around it for a minute. Kind of freshly new with releasing, actually putting out material, but you've been around it. You
Yeah.
love, you're a hip hop head. Talk to me about the track selection, selecting tracks process for you. Or do you got to be high to select a track, or like what is
No, it helps. It helps. But it starts with a vibe, man. Like I think like if I'm so this song in particular, I was just jamming out on the living room floor, flipping through different tracks to just smoke with. I was just like just I feel like I was in a writing mood. I was high, I was drunk, like I was like, let me write something. I'm home by myself. And I stumbled around upon this track, and it's produced by LCS. Shout out to LCS and Jervaya, if I'm saying that name right. I don't know these people. I found them on YouTube and I leased the track. So I bought the unlimited lease and I was like, we're putting this to work. And I went in there, I went into YouTube and I looked up other people's like tracks, and I was like, wow. I turned a rap beat into a into an R&B like trap soul. Like everybody else was doing like rap to this, and I was like, okay, here I am. It's definitely a different take. So for me, when I come to track selection, like I gotta feel it. If I'm not feeling it, then it's not mine. I can definitely I can still write something to it, but it's like if if I were to write it, I would probably write it for somebody else.
mm.
Makes sense.
Are you worried? Are you worried any about um somebody hearing the song and thinking you're saying just get high? Because people get their own take out of it or whatever. You ever thought about that? Kids maybe hearing the song or something like that. I mean, we have to um also consider being responsible when we're creating as well. But
Yeah. So I mean, I don't speak into like stuff like you know kill yourself and blah blah blah, like stuff like that. Like it's a melodramatic song, yes, but it's also, like I said, many layers to it.
mhm.
They shouldn't put this song in front of their kids, but if they do, it's catchy. Um, they'll be like, "Hey, mom, let's get high." Don't worry about that, kid. But I don't have that many explicits into the song, except for like codeine and henny and shit. Like, but those are like that's it. It's not like fuck bitches, blah blah blah. Like, like I'm not that kind of like I don't rap. I can't rap to save the life of me. Like um but yeah, I don't think it'll matter if kids listen to it. I would prefer them not to, but if they stumble across it, it's it's a vibe. It's a
Right,
vibe, and it's about elevation. You can take it any way you want it. Art is
right,
up for interpretation.
absolutely. Or is this like the setup for the project? I know you're still working on the full project that you plan on releasing whenever you complete it. But is this like the setup for the makeup of how the project will be, or this is just one space, and then you're going to take us on a roller coaster ride?
I think there will be several roller coaster rides before I take you on a full project. Um, that being said, is because I am still experimenting with my sound, and it's okay to experiment with your sound until you find the one. I
Mhm.
definitely feel like, this Get High single was one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Singing it, producing it, just putting it together overall was like such a joy. Um, I worked with so many like talented, beautiful people to help me put it together. Um, I do have a single in the works, so that stuff is more like a synth wave. Um, Stranger Things weekend kind of vibe.
Right.
So, like I said, like I'm still experimenting with my sound. I'm still trying to figure out like what is truly Annie and then like Azzy Cheers sound, Um, and it's okay to take the time with that.
Right, absolutely. I'm super excited though. Um, now, you know, the video was what's the symbolicness of the rabbit? Like what does that symbolize? It definitely was cool looking. But I know creatives, it's always a deeper meaning, possibly.
Yeah,
Tell me, let's talk about that because the video was absolutely dope. But I was trying to put it all together to try to, you know me, I want to know what everything means.
yeah. So I'm curious to ask, what do you think the white rabbit represents?
Man, I'm such a what do you call people like me? I'm such a conspiracy theorist type of
Oh,
guy.
give it all, give it all. I want to hear it.
Well, I don't know if it was some form of what do you call those people? I don't know if it was an illuminated type, Illuminati type symbolicness of it, or I don't know. But I was curious, and I wanted to wait to do the interview to ask you because I was gonna call you. It just I was going, but I wanted it to be fresh and live to actually get
Yeah.
what
No,
does it actually mean?
so the bunny rabbit is the rabbit hole, the matrix, the deeper side,
Mm,
the the other side, right? Like when you get high, you're like euphoric and you're like, yeah, this is great, but then like you're like, oh shit, like this is somewhere else. And so
right.
in a way, in a sense, the bunny is me, is the other
Oh.
side of me. So the bunny is me, my higher self, and the guide. The guide taking me through this journey as well as facing my demons.
Mm, I knew it. I knew it was something. Everything with you has some meaning to it. I knew that. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think I like the mystique of it all though because it is going to open up a lot of questions and open up a lot of dialogue with the way that you create. So, and I think that you're a genius when it comes down to that creative space because expecting something normal is there. You're going to always be in for a surprise because that's what you do. You're creative, and I think that it's great that you do create like that because it makes the mind think. You know what I mean? It's not just something you just can just grab and be like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. But you be like, wow, like hold up. So this video is deep. Like, so what does this mean? And so I definitely
Yeah.
applaud you for that. Get High is out right now on all streaming platforms. Videos out. Um, you guys, you gotta go and check it out. I'm telling you, it's super amazing. Very colorful. It just really stands out. And the song is just fire. I love the way you put it together. Your voice sounds absolutely amazing on there. Um, which I knew that. I knew that. That's
Thank
why I
you.
was like,
Thank
pushing
you.
you like, yo, you gotta get back in it, man. You gotta get this music out, man. Like,
Thank
because you got
you.
so many different ideas. But I do know that you are you don't just do music, you do a lot of different things. You also do, give back to the community. You real active when it comes down to things like that. So definitely big shout out to you for all the amazing things that you have going on,
Thank you.
for real. Let's take the time to get some shout outs to your family, friends, your crew, your staff, your loved ones, your fans, anybody that you want to give flowers to. Let's go ahead and get these people their flowers. You got a lot of people that love you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just first of all, shout out to my crew, Marshawn, who helped me direct the video. Um, couldn't have done it without you. Honestly, yeah, the videographer was great, and Tyler. Shout out to my set designer, Carlito, my PA, all my PA crew, everybody helped put this project together. Honestly, it's been such a journey with this music. Big shout out to my partner, my heart, Noah, who helped me, make this song sound even better because he was the one who helped vocal produce. Um, Shout out to my engineer, D Trey, and big shout out to Kano for putting me on the show.
Oh,
For
you
putting me on the
already know.
show. Yeah, man, just everybody who helped me put this whole project together. I love you guys so much. You know who you are.
You already know. I got you. You know that the whole vibe. We got you. I want to shout out some people that's on the live stream right now. Shout out to our heartbeat over on this side, the one and only Strong Jewel is just listen. Strong Jewel is really a powerhouse over on this side. She takes care of all of the back end stuff. So big shout out to Strong Jewel. Shout out to the one and only Moni Monroe. Definitely. And she's tuning in live from work, man. Little big shout out to you for jumping on, showing love to our special guest. Shout out to Live Vibe Radio in the building. And shout out to everybody else that was on this live. We had some people that jumped on. Shout out to Taylor B Media. Shout out to them for jumping on and showing my special guest so much love. And everybody that's listening in on the radio airways, man, we just want to thank y'all so much for jumping in and showing so much love to my special guest, the one and only AZY. And listen, we want to thank you again so much. You already know you're a part of the Vibe family. We love you so much. We are supporting you. We behind you 1,000 with everything that you're doing. You know you got nothing but love and support over on this side. You already know what the vibes is with being you. You know what it is. You know you're more than welcome to come back on this show any time. And before we get out of here, as it for anybody that may be feeling low in spirit, maybe thinking about giving up on their careers, maybe in a depressed, dark place or whatever, can you leave them with some words of uplift and encouragement as we close out?
Absolutely. I think when we forget, like, especially when it comes to music or entertainment or like art in general, like we get so caught up with like our likes and like the amount of money we've put into the projects. It's okay to go out and get that job. Make sure you have food on the table. Like, make sure you take care of what you need to take care of first, but also remember why you started. Remember why you want to put out music or art or whatever medium it is that you're doing this for. Remember why you're doing it. I think like knowing that why, that message as an artist is going to be the driving fuel behind no matter what you do. And always also reach out to people, like send them a DM. Hey, what do you think of this? Or like, how can I make this better? And there's so many resources. Just reach out. You can reach out to me. You reach out to Kano. Like, there's so many resources out here, and yeah, there's going to be better days. You gotta keep that vision. You gotta keep that focus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As let's put those social platforms out there in ways that people can connect with you. Again, Get High, the album, the single, I'm sorry, is out right now. Video is out right now. Y'all make sure that y'all go and support that and run it up and stream it. We do have it in rotation, heavy rotation on the Vibe Show 97.9. So you guys can rush over and go and request that single up to 10 times per day. Go over there and run that thing up. You can log on at www.thevibeshow979.net and request Get High. You can go to the request tab and type in Get High, or you can type in AZY and you can request it, request it, request it. Y'all run it up for the queen. Let's put them social platforms out there in ways that people can connect with you.
Absolutely. My social handle is AZY, AZY dot CHYR, AZY Cheer, on all social media platforms. So that's IG, TikTok, Facebook. All my content is out there, and I'm on Apple, Spotify, Tidal, all streaming platforms. So you can search me up and send me a DM. Say hi. I'm gonna say hi back.
Absolutely. Get High out right now. Y'all make sure y'all go and run it up. It's on all streaming platforms right now. You on your phones, you have no excuse. As soon as you get off this interview, you guys make sure y'all go stream, Get High, run it up, and show some support and some love. Shout out to everybody again for tuning in to this amazing episode. If you are not subscribed to the Vibe Show 97.9, please hit that subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications, and share this amazing interview. Also, y'all make sure y'all log on to our official radio station website where we're playing the hits new and old 24/7. You can request your favorite song, www.thevibeshow979.net. Y'all make sure y'all get connected. I'm Kano the Don, the Vibe King. That's the one and only AZY. We are wishing y'all blessings and love on this Sunday. Y'all know my slogan: more love, less hate makes the world a better place. I love y'all, AZY. I love you. We are out. Peace.